I think there's still racism because we don't have honest conversations about why people think the things that we do. You and I know that there's no difference between a black person and a white person in terms of their abilities. But because of things that we see, because of things that we hear, because of things that we read, we end up not having complete information about different groups of people. And because we don't know how to ask or what's the appropriate way to find out, people believe things that aren't necessarily true, and then they act on them.
Oh, okay. Jim Crow law says that white people and black people got to be separate. Segregation is that you got to be separate between white people and black people. Segregation is bad because black people can't get what white people have.
Black people wouldn't go to a white school because of their skin color.
What ended up happening was because of that inferiority that we talked about before, a number of the resources that were sent to the black schools were often the leftover resources from the white schools. So the old textbooks, the old furniture, the less skilled teachers were often sent to the black schools, therefore making them not good environments for kids.
So what I noticed with the documents about the school boycott in February of 1964, and what I noticed with the freedom schools, I noticed that these documents really highlighted how much interest and involvement existed around the protests for school equality in New York City schools in the 1960s. This one-day boycott, those documents, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of students who stayed out of school and participated in a citywide protest against racial inequality in New York's schools.
The main reason why is that the idea of separating black people from white people created inequities for black people. So often the white facilities, the white resources tended to be newer and better than what black people were receiving. So because black people perceived it as unequal, they fought against Jim Crow. So the segregation that exists today is a little bit different than the segregation that existed during the time of Jim Crow, because during Jim Crow it was the law. And if you broke the law, you get arrested and sent to jail. Today, there are people who choose to separate themselves by living in exclusive communities and by redrawing lines so that black people and white people aren't together. A good example is here in Mount Vernon. In our school, it's 95% students of color. 1 mile away is Pelham Middle School, and it's 95% white. Oftentimes, black people don't have the resources to live in a place like Pelham, and people in Pelham don't want to mix with people in Mount Vernon, and not all people, but some.
There's still segregation today because right now, I usually see like more black people in this school, and I see a lot of white kids in Pelham. Just how quick.
It's been a long road, but just not there. A view of integration so big and clear. We can see it forever, not a cloud in the sky. Picture forever, but everyday of life. I wish my dreams come true while it happened to me, so it happened to you. Born a journey of truth and belief in the key. So open your mind and let your life free. I feel like I'm glowing, and I feel like I'm going. Tonight, I'm sure up to shine. We're gonna have our rights.